Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 4, and more importantly, welcome to October. If you are hearing this now, it is October 2nd, but it is October 1st as I'm recording. It has been a beautiful weekend. Things have cooled down, and autumn truly feels like it is in the air. So, welcome to October. A couple things I do want to announce before we move along here with the week 4 announcements. First and foremost, I want to let you guys know that the first research project due date has been moved back 1 week to Sunday, October 22nd. So originally, I had stated that the research project was going to be due Sunday, October 15th. However, I have decided to give you guys an additional week, and I have moved the due date to Sunday, October 22nd, which now gives you additional time to work on it, to begin the process, to get some ideas rolling. I also wanted to do this because I wanted to make sure that there was an equal amount of discussion and talking points between analysis and evaluation, since those will be the two types of topics that you can pick from for this particular research project. So that's why I just wanted it to be evenly dispersed. So as I was saying last week, this week you will have reference material available to you under the research project section. If you click on it, you will now note that there's both a writing to analyze folder and a writing to evaluate folder. If you click on the writing to evaluate folder, as with the analysis folder, you have your PowerPoint presentations, your essay examples, and your video examples. The PowerPoints have traditional PowerPoints, and then my video PowerPoints, which allow you to go through the PowerPoint, but also get additional insight and examples about evaluations for your reference material. Also, next week, I will be providing you with student examples of PowerPoints, Prezis, video essays, podcast, websites that you guys can reference if you are interested in developing a project that's outside of the traditional essay. So remember, for this research project, you will have the option of producing any one of those outlets for your topic. As long as you are providing me with either a clear evaluation or analysis, you can utilize any one of those options. Just remember that with each one of those options, there are different expectations for them. So make sure that you ask me questions early and often about each one of those projects if you are interested, or if you have any questions about a topic that you might be interested in developing for your project. So please keep that in mind. Again, the due date for the first research project is now 3 weeks out. So make sure that you start thinking about what you may want to develop for the project, and shoot me an email if you have questions about how to develop it in either a PowerPoint, a Prezi, a video, an essay, a podcast, etc. And like I said, next week I will provide you with student examples of that. This week I've given you additional information about evaluations. In terms of your assignments this week, you have an individual writing assignment and a homework response for this week. The individual writing assignment is titled the Growth versus Proficiency Debate. So under the individual writing section, you will see here the GVP debate. If you click on it, I essentially have 5 different questions for you pertaining to growth versus proficiency. Now, to kind of break down growth versus proficiency, the idea here is in education, there has been a debate going on of what might be the more effective way of teaching, growth or proficiency. Proficiency essentially tries to determine how proficient you are in a topic, where you are currently with as much knowledge as you know. So for example, let's say we all go out and play basketball right now, and I say, all right, let's have a game of pickup, and I then see who scores the most points. I then see how proficient you are by taking the person who scored the most points and then saying that if you didn't equal his particular point total, that you are not proficient at basketball. The growth model would suggest that we play basketball every day of the semester, and then I judge you individually to see where you started, how many baskets you might have made when you started on day 1 versus how many baskets you made starting on day 30. So looking at those two particular models, there is a debate between which might be the more effective way of learning. And this is something that educators and administrators have been going over from time to time. And one of the things that comes up is that they often argue that proficiency is not an accurate way to determine how intelligent a person might be. So some of these questions are sort of cultivated to see where your intelligence comes from. How do you determine your own sense of growth? How do you determine when you are proficient in something? And whether those two things are actually equal when it comes to determining education. As always, I've given you the assignment sheet here that you can copy and paste. You can download the assignment sheet. And then there's also an article that goes with this assignment that you'll need to read in order to answer question 3. I'll also provide you with a link to a video that kind of breaks down growth versus proficiency in another way, so you can kind of get another example of it. And then for your other homework assignment, it is an evaluative challenge. Your job is to find a topic of interest that will produce conflicting points of view. So the topic could be social media, Donald Trump, body shaming, etc. I then need you to provide me with 2 distinctly opposing arguments and summarize their key points. Additionally, provide a link for each argument. After you have provided a summary for the 2 respective arguments in a 3rd paragraph, I will then need you to provide me with a perspective that is essentially between the 2 points of contention. So here you will be playing devil's advocate. Try to find parallels between the 2 arguments without necessarily picking a distinct right or wrong verdict. When you are done, please post your completed assignment to the Evaluative Challenge discussion forum. And if you go to that discussion forum, you will see that I have provided you with a student example where they have talked about our current president, Donald Trump. The first article is a clearly negative observation and evaluation of the current president. The second is an article that is favorable towards Mr. Trump. And then the last paragraph is looking at the discussion from a devil's advocate point of view, trying to take both sides of the discussion and trying to find a middle ground. And that would be your goal this week for this particular assignment. So remember, things to keep in mind. The research project has been moved back a week to Sunday, October 22nd. If you have questions about it, please make sure to email me early and often in regards to the topic, in regards to the type of project you might be considering developing. Also, you have 2 responses that are due this week, an individual writing assignment and a discussion forum assignment, both due by Sunday, October 8th. You can either email me those completed assignments or you can post them to their respective sections on Blackboard. As always, if you guys have questions, please feel free to email me anytime this week other than obviously the day that the assignments are due, as I will not respond to emails on the due dates for assignments. But again, my line is open for you guys to communicate with me. Any issues that you are having, please make sure to email me so we can try to get those fixed and we can get you on your way. Have a good week, and I'll check back with you guys in a bit.